Quick tip. Just I think we chatted about this one on Monday, but I've just seen a couple of you doing this, so it's worth just commenting on. Simple rule of thumb: when we do a Paks out, if you are going to pack and punch with the other hand, stay square. If we turn with the pack, use the nearest hand. So that's kind of a simple thing. Well, I wouldn't, because when we turn, we never turn in order to reach. The only reason we turn is to get out of the way. That's the thing. If you need to turn in order to reach with your hands, you're not in hand range. So that's the simple thing. You're in a kicking range. So if I turn, there's a benefit with this, there's a bonus, and that can be that I've gained a third extra reach. It also means my other hand has lost that third extra reach. So if we turn with the pack, don't try to reach across with that one. Just use the nearest hand. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So if I kind of do this on an angle, if I was here, whoa, and I've turned at this point, bang, I might use the, so we can see what that looks like. Very similar. So if I turn with the Paks out here, then we can see how that application might be used. So if you turn with the technique, use that nearest shoulder. If you want to use both guns, both weapons, then keep them both available. So on that one, we're just going to pack and punch. We'll pack and punch, or gun and punch, and so on. But if you turn with it, just use the nearest hand. So that's an important little factor. Right. Yes. Just to give you a little heads up, anyone that's watching this as well as on a catch up, I'm going to just write a little blog, and I should be able to write it in a way that it makes sense. But the idea being that if you lap somebody, if you use a lap sail, this technique I find is a better used technique on something that is a slower act of aggression. For instance, if somebody said, "Hey, give me those glasses," this kind of thing, or "Shut up, I went to push you back," or "Give me your hat," this kind of, or "I went to grab you." Not like as a it's, "Oh, I couldn't lap it. It was a fast jab." Well, you wouldn't, you wouldn't attempt to lap something like that. We have variations in techniques, in as far as if, let's say, you saw the hand coming in, whoa, and you reacted and you went to lap, but the hand slipped out. Well, remember what Wing Chun is, what the techniques are. They are descriptions of something that just happened. So always remember that as well. It's not that I went for the lap sail and it was bad. I missed it. It was rubbish. Well, you didn't. If you grabbed it and you pulled it, then we'd be saying that was a pulling hand. It's lap sail. But if your left fist came forwards and I went to grab that and you slipped it away, then I've effectively just deflected with a bu. So that's a bu because I'm pointing fingers, I'm thrusting fingers. So all of the techniques in Wing Chun, nothing has names. They don't have names. They're descriptions of something that just happened. A slapping hand or a pulling hand, or the palm is facing up. These are all descriptions, So that's the thing. I'm scooping hand. I'm circling hand. So remember that we're not. So it's. I wouldn't. Don't ever think like, "Oh, I did that technique really badly," or "I've messed up that technique." You messed up that technique, but you did that technique correctly. It's like I wouldn't. I wouldn't describe this as a motorbike. And that's the thing. It's like I'd be just trying to say, "Oh, well, I was trying to do a motorbike, but I've ended up with water." Why are you talking about a motorbike? You did water. So that's the thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, with a lap sail then. Oh, brilliant. Okay, cheers. You gotta go. Yeah. Oh, you got a question? Yeah, go ahead. Can you? Here we go.
Yeah, Sifu, I've been doing a lot of your drills, and the question I have is, I think I'm pronouncing it right. When Lapan, it's a rising, like someone comes in and you lift their arm.
Goksao?
Yeah, that's it, Lapsa. Yeah. When would you use that? Because you could break the person's arm. I know you said, and I was practicing, I made sure my arm was bent, because I can see the damage that can happen in pushing up and cranking down.
Yes.
Yeah. When would you use that, Sifu?
Okay, let me. I'll just do you again there. Right. Okay. Well, this is the thing, really. It's not. I wouldn't do it like at a kid's party. You know, I'm not going, hey kids, line up, let's try this. Oh, wait. So we need to think like realistically. The reason why I say that is because if you're in a situation, we need to decide when is a joke not a joke. You know, when has it gone too far? If this is just some like drunk with his hand on your chest, and, you don't want to hurt the guy. You know, it's not about that. But if somebody has grabbed you here and it's really solid and push you against the wall, or if I try and move back, as I try and move back, his arm goes out. At that point, I can give a little tweak, like an inside pack and an out. If it's here this way, an inside pack and an outside pack together. That's what I'm going to do. Oddly enough, I'm actually just talking about a lap sow, and the phrase I was going to use is you control the lap, and that's the same with this. Bang! I'm going to hit inside and outside together, and that is just going to give a little tweak. And if you've just it's like that's just hurt his arm a bit. He ain't going to want to fight, because that's now I'm not suggesting for a second you break someone's arm. If they've got you this way and they've grabbed like so, and you step back, stepping back will extend their arm. That's a good one for like, it's effectively like a gum sow on the wrist and a tock sow at the elbow. And again, this way or this way, depending where it is, inside and outside, just gives them a little tweak, and it will release that grip. So you need to have made that call at that point. You would have to decide like, and also the thing is as well, you're still in a position there where you're giving that person an out, you know, because you could say, well, if someone's grabbed hold of you there, you know where one of their arms is. So you could just view them in the eyes, you know, you could strike them in the throat and these kind of things. I'm not going to that extent. What I need is a quick release for that person to let go of me so I can get to safety, you know, or whatever. So that's how it is a very simple way of using it and why you might use it. But you control the lap, you control the damage. So I'm not suggesting, we're whacking straight through and, you know, the guy's like just all kaput. We're not going for that at all. Unless it needs it, of course. Does that, you know, am I liable? Yeah, so I'm not, you know, I can't decide what situation you're in. With a lap sow, when you lap, as I say, it's better suited to a slower technique and a more committed technique. So if someone goes to push you away, then you can see that and you can turn and you can accelerate it a little bit like boxing down a gear in the car, you know, whoa, and we get a bit faster rather than a 0 to 60. A lap sow is better worked and better applied on a technique that's already moving in, on a motion that's already moving in, not from like, someone's just pointing and you try and quickly grab. It's, you know, the 0 to 60 element of that is very difficult. But if somebody puts a hand towards you, you can lap. And the way we do this is we don't suddenly lap to the side. If your arm is coming forwards and I lap to the side, the body, the mass momentum will keep going forwards. So I'm going to turn a little bit. I'm going to get the contact a little bit and I'm going to pull it downwards a little bit as far as I need to pull it, because you control the lap. Just because you can doesn't mean to say you should. If I did a massive lap, 2 hands, and the guy goes flying, then I've just given him now a fresh start and a good run up for his next attack. I mean, what the hell? I'm in my doctor's bedroom. That thing's just started talking. That's freaky. All right, get out. Oh God. Oh. It's just gone bouncing down the stairs. Well, she's not in at the moment. Yeah, so you control the lap. So I don't want to kind of send it sideways and have the mass fall onto me. I don't want to send it too far, unless, of course, there's a table and chairs there or a cliff, you know, depending if it's going to be something that's useful for me, or a wall, bounce them into a wall. So you control the lap. And the way we need to think of this redirection is like an aircraft landing. You know, it doesn't just go boom, hopefully anyway. As it comes down, it veers off and it has a mild, slight redirection. The lap sow has a mild and slight redirection. So as that force is coming in, we're going to turn and we're just going to escort it off the premises. we're going to guide it past. In third section of Sulam Tao, we see the outside pack. We see the outside pack and the side palm. So the pack, side palm. If you remember, the reason why we chose that one, in first section, we see an inside pack and a straight palm. So if you put your right fist forwards, just to get an example of this. So everyone right fist forwards. So let's say you'd come in with a strike or a grab or a push, whatever. If here I'm using an inside pack, so I got contact in the center, near your wrist, your momentum continuing forwards, as I've tried to push across, is the reason why it's got close to me. So that's why it's in close. If you now hit with your other hand, with your left hand, I would do a straight palm. And for this reason, I've got cover with the elbow. You could fax out as well, actually, but let's look at this as a straight palm. So that's why I've chosen a straight palm. If I did a side palm, my elbow is tucked in, I'm not covering that. So I'd get hit. So that's why with the inside pack, we choose a straight palm. Let's put that right hand forwards again. So the right punch forwards again. This time I've turned with an outside pack. Outside pack, I'm further down your arm, I'm near the elbow, and I would have turned with this. Now, if I do a straight palm, I'm letting go of your fist clearly. So that could hit me. So that's the reason why from here, I'm tucking the elbow in a little bit and I start to extend forwards. So I'm feeling that contact on your arm as I hit. Now, that's the bit I want to just talk about. I want to share with you as a consideration for when you play your form. Because many times I've heard this, certainly against the smaller person, against the taller guy, that when they go for this, they do the Paks out and they go for the palm, but I can't seem to get the palm strike in because his shoulder's in the way. And this is the thing. We only have that contact for as long as we know it's safe enough for me to lift it off and go in with the palm. I don't keep the contact all the way. When an aircraft is taking off, it doesn't stay on the runway all the way. Obviously, that's going to end up in disaster. When it feels it's safe enough to lift, then it lifts. So I Paks out. I start to move forwards when I feel it's safe enough for me to leave your arm and hit. I do. Same if it was a fax out. When it's safe enough to let go, I do. Keeping contact with that will finish with you bumping into the shoulder. So the way I'm kind of going to describe this, it was just something that I'm kind of itching to do, but I thought, well, I did something today, so I'll do this on Saturday. And it was the thought of thinking of an aircraft. So when it lands, that's a lapsow, redirection, redirection. When it takes off here, this is the Paksow, letting go when it's safe enough to let go. Just like basics, you know, we keep our basics until it's time to let those basics relax. So that's, I think somebody's got the time wrong because we're just letting somebody in. Oops. Let's see how this goes. We all just say goodbye as soon as he joins. Hey, Joseph. Hello. Nice to see you. And I'm wondering if maybe you've got your times mixed up. But it is now 5 to 8 in the UK, so we're going to be finishing soon. But please watch this on catch up. I haven't said anything bad about you, guys. Can we have we'll do Sulam Tao together, and then we'll do a little bit of the virtual sparring if we can, like I said. So we did the punches at the start of this, and when we were doing the punches, I said about thinking of the forearm driving forward, not hitting. Wotec, we had a little bit of a kind of small area for your punches, but thinking of this like that scaffolding tube driving forward. So we thought of it going forwards this way and the elbow pulling back this way, and it was that gave us a clearance. When we play Sulam Tao, I always think of it as doing punches really slowly. And when we're doing punches, I think of Sulam Tao being done really quickly. So for that reason, that's the thought I want you to put into the Sulam Tao, where the elbow is pushing forwards and where the elbow is pulling back. So I'll do it mirrored. This is your left,